Hello. Hey, hi everyone.
Hi, Amit.
I am it.
We're just starting 2 minutes, right? Just in 2 minutes. Hello. Yeah, hi. So let's get started. Did you try that question or the Power BI one that I gave you that day?
Yeah, I tried them.
Will do it. It's answer.
I got the output, but I don't know that's the right way to do that. Can I explain?
Sure.
I can share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this is the output, right? You want how many incidents opened particular day, how many are closed on particular day. So what I did is I created two reference tables from the original table.
Can I see them? Can you go in the relationship view?
Yeah. Here I created two reference tables from the original table. Sorry for the namings. Then I created date table. Then I draw relationship between the date table and the two new tables. What I did is I grouped the incidents based on the column, closed instance column. I grouped those incidents. I used group by clause.
Okay. Okay. So see,
In
basically,
in both tables. I used open separate tables. I used one table. I used group by in both tables. So I got the count. So then I tag all the counts here.
right. See, technique here uses exactly what you have to use, but it would be used a little differently. See, what you do is if you go in that relationship view, you will actually you will not need that supporting table over here, new tab. So what you do is make the connection of this. Where is the main?
This is the main table. Sheet 1 is main table.
Can you show me sheet 1 once? Data of the sheet 1.
Data. Or this.
This should not be there. Clouds count should not be there. This column.
Yeah, no, I just created. It's not. Anyway, I'm not using this table in the view.
So basically, if you go in that table now, main table in the data view. Model, yes, yes. No, yeah. Modeling view. Sorry, modeling view. So you create the date table. So you make the connection, right? So delete the two connections that you have right now. Delete the two connections. So what you do is you create the connection between date and the open date and the date and the close date with the sheet 1. With the sheet 1. No, in the sheet 1 make it. Date to the close date, make the relation.
From here to this closed date, right?
So what we do is so from this date table, I make one connection with the open one. Then I can make a connection with the closed one. Okay. So now what happens is basically at a one time only one relationship can be active, correct?
Yes.
So what I do now is when I make this table, I will bring the field date from here. So from the sheet one, we have to count how many were opened. So I bring that over here. Right. So I get that on 1st of Jan, 3 incidents were opened up. Right. Now, if you will bring the closed one, so what will now happen over here is close will give you an error. I mean, it will close will not give you the correct output that you are actually looking out for, because the
Yeah, that's
relationship.
not giving the count.
So that it basically splits it, because if you now take the count also of this, right? So it gives you 3 and 3 over here, which is incorrect. So what we do is we will create a measure over here. Okay. So I'll say calculate as a count of closed. I will have to use a different relationship. I will use relationship. There is a DAX use relationship. You can say that the inactive relationship that you had, right? The inactive relationship that you have, right?
Yeah.
Date one, date, and that close one that you have. So that is the relationship that you will use over here. Closed. So you say that you have to use this relationship now.
That sheet one, that is sheet one, Amit, table.
Okay, so in this table, what I can do now is we can remove this and this measure that we have created. Right? So we get this in the same table. That one was open on closed on this date and one was closed on the other date. So it was just this tax that we had to get. Okay. So in this tax, what happens is basically the main catch is only one thing, that is use relationship. So what I did was, if you make more than one relationship, and by default the active one will be used, but if for calculation you want to use the inactive one, so you can do that with the help of this. You can do that with the help of use relationship tax that we have. Got it?
Yeah. And so is it wrong, like using that group by?
Sorry.
Is it wrong using that group by in the creating reference tables and using that group by condition?
That is not wrong, but if the data set becomes bigger and if you have little more data in that, so in that case you will unnecessarily be increasing the load in that, right, by making multiple tables now. So
Yes,
that is
that's true.
not wrong. It's a lengthy approach.
Yes.
Okay.
While doing this, I feel like I forgot Power BI. How
Yeah.
can we do this in Tableau, Amit? I tried in Tableau, but the same way you showed in the Power BI.
So you have this over here, and if you want to pick the close one, see basically in this, we have to go and create a LOD function over here, right? With the help of LOD, we will be able to do this of closing and ending of this. Let me try this. Let me tell you that. Let me just try because we have to make a LOD calculation in that. With that, we will be able to achieve it. So I'll show you that.
Okay. I'll stop sharing.
Okay. So today, what we'll do is we'll be starting off with the matplotlib. So something which we use for creating some quick visualizations in the Python, right? So that's the library that we have. That is the matplotlib. So let's start with that, right? So what we do is, first of all, you all have to do the conda install, right? So you all need to install that Python. So to say conda install, sorry. Matplotlib, I already have this. Sure. I will install it. Actually, my spellings are wrong for the install. So now this although we don't use very extensively, right? These the visualization, because something that we have already seen, right? Like how we do the visualization using R, Python, Tableau, Excel. So there are a lot of ways that we've already seen this, right? So basically over here we will just be talking about the basics only, so that you get a starting point of that how the visualization are happening in the Python as well. So that is what the whole idea is. So Matplot is the library that helps us in getting that achieved. Okay. So what I do over here is, let's come over here. So once this is now installed, so we'll have to, I'll show you some very small example over here. Suppose I import numpy as np. Okay. Let's create a small data set where I'm saying x equal to np dot linspace 0 to 5, 11 data points. I'm getting y equals to x raised to the power, right? So we have this x and y with us. X is this and y is a square of that. So just create two small numbers over here. Okay. Then what we do is, basically we have this now. We import that mat and we will import that matplotlib. I will say import matplotlib as plt. So now if you have to make a chart, so making a chart is very easy. You simply say plt dot pie plot, right? plt dot plot, that you want to make a plot. You have x comma y comma r, right? So r over here is something that stands for red color now, that you want to have the line in the red color. So if you run this, no, so we have not defined that. Sure. Right. Oh, variable. And suppose I want to give plt dot title. Right. So chart is created.
Amit, can you scroll up, please? Yes. If you want to create multiple plots, right? Suppose if you want to make
multiple plots together. So we can say, like over here. So in that case, what we do is we use a command that is plt dot subplot, right? So we have a command subplot. In this, what you do is you can define how many rows, how many number of rows, number of columns, and plot number. So you can define all the things in that. So basically, if I show you, suppose I am saying that I want to create subplots where I would like to have one row, two columns, and I would like to make the first chart, right? So I'm saying in I'm trying to make a subplot where I am saying that I'm making a first subplot where I should have one row, two columns, and I'm making a first chart over here. So in that case, now I start making the chart. So I say plt dot plot, right? So same chart I make. So I'm saying x comma y comma. Now, if you write r like this, that means you want to have a line of red color which should be dashed. It should have a dashes in them. Then you are saying you want to make another plot that will be plt dot subplot. The same thing where you had one row, two columns. Now this is the second chart that you are creating. In that we are saying plt dot plot. We use y comma x in this just for the difference field. We are using y comma x comma, and we say I want to make G a green color, and the line should have a star and a dash, right? So I make that up. So if you see now, the two charts are created together where you can see in one first chart it is x and y, and the second chart is y and x. So that is what is opposite. And the line have the different structures now. The lines that I have defined, that is the type of lines that we have got in this.
We don't have to use the show function in this one.
No, without it also it works. So
Okay.
without that also it works.
And what's the color options? It's RGB or any color we can use.
Sorry?
Color options. See, you mentioned red, green. What are the color options?
So you just have, you just have to write that initials for that, right? For example, if you want to have that, right? So you have this changes to blue. So you just have that initials over here. Because in these videos, we don't play a lot with the colors. It's just that basic colors that we use over here to get this colors in this. I just use those initials over here. You will get that color over here.
I didn't get what is that 1 to 1 subplot 1 to 1.
So this is like you're saying that like you are trying to create a subplot, right? This subplot in that defining the area that in that it should have one row, two columns. So you are making the first chart in that, and this is the second chart in that. So now you cannot have more than two charts, right? Because you are saying one row and two columns. If you say you want to have, I would have changed it to two rows, one column, right? Two rows and one column. So if you now run this, it comes one below the other because now two rows and one column.
Oh, okay, charts rows.
It's like the placement of the charts.
Okay. Okay.
Like now, for example, next one, if we come over here, make a data over here, and the data is like this. So we have C20, So there is a small data set over here, a dictionary, right? So I'm saying courses is equal, just making a small data list in which I am taking the data dot keys. I will take values equal to list of data dot values, right? So just make the two formulas over here. We make this. Right, so if you want to make a bar chart, for example, so you will say plt dot, we have bar. Okay, so we say plt dot bar over here. On the x-axis, what do you want to show? That is courses. On the y-axis, you want to show values, right? Then you define the color. What is the color that you want? Suppose I want maroon color. You define the width. Width is suppose 0.4. This is the width of the chart, right? The bar over here. Okay. Then what we are saying is, suppose we are saying plt dot x label. Okay. You want to define the x label as courses. You want to define plt dot y label. Suppose that is students. You want to put a title. Title you can put and say plt dot. Right, so you will see a chart is created, bar chart is created. Okay. Suppose you want to make a stacked bar chart in this, right? So if you want to make a stacked bar chart over here, so we can make that as well, right? Like for example, we have a data over here, and equals to 5. Suppose I make a data that boys is equals to, I give some data, right? 20, 35, 30. I say girls equal to 18, 17, 21, right? I say boy standard 4, girls standard equals to we have this, right? Just making the data over here. Okay, this is just a data set that I'm making. The data that I will be showing on the chart over here. So basically what we do is we will simply use that same chart, that is plt dot bar, right? So on the x-axis I am saying I am showing int, then we have boys that I will be showing over here. So int is the thing, right? So this, if I show you, this is just the array which is having 0, 1, 2, right? So what I'm saying over here is I box x-axis I'm showing this, y I'm showing the balls over here. Suppose I define that width that I want is I have a width, then I'm so this will become a little tricky also. Let me so we'll come to this chart a little bit in just a second. Before that, I'll show you something else. Okay, suppose if you want to make a pie chart. Okay, suppose we have to make a pie chart now. So you have any data, right? Pie chart, making pie chart is very easy. Suppose you have some data over here. Suppose y equals to np dot array. You have 30, 50, 80, 90. Okay. Okay, so if you want to make a pie chart, you will say plt dot pie and give that input as y, right? So you get the pie chart over here. If you want to add labels into it, so I'll show you that. So let's just make this up. Okay, suppose if you want to give the labels in this chart, right? So you will have to define that. My labels. Okay. So you are saying my labels equal to, we have 4 items. Suppose one is India, another is US, then you have UK, then you have Philippines, right? So if you make this, now you define the labels over here. And then while creating a pie chart, if you say labels equal to my label, Yes, we get the labels also on the chart. Okay.
Can we show the values also, like percentages?
That same thing will come in that the labels. So if you say my labels equals to y, I should get the labels.
So only one we can see, or either labels or values or names.
Those things.
Instead of creating that labels, my labels, right? Right? We can give it directly to labels, right?
That you know, you can write it directly over here as well.
Okay.
So basically, you know, before you can create a chart, you have to prepare the data for the pie chart. You will have to proper make the, suppose you have some data with you, you will have to calculate and do the calculation, then those things come in that chart. So if you want to show the label, something in the percentage, so you have to do all the calculations and show it. Just a second. Okay. See, now you know in this, the next thing that we discuss over here is, so suppose you know you want to explode the chart, right? You want to have one of the, if you know, suppose you want that one of the, suppose like let's we were putting this my labels over here. You want to explode, right? One of the regions you want to show separately, right? Like for example, you have this PH, Philippines now, you want to show it differently. So what you can do in that case is, that is Philippines is the last one, that is a 91. So what you can do while creating a chart over here, right? So in this chart, you can say explode equal to You can define those values that the first one should come properly with 0 explode, 0 explode, 0 explode, but the last one should have an explode of 0.2. See, now you see Philippines comes a little out of the picture now. Similarly, if you want to put some shadows in it, you can put that also, right? You can just write comma shadow equals to true, right? So you will get a little bit of a shadow effect. You see, in this chart now you get a little bit of a shadow effect like this. You can define colors as well if you want colors to be defined. So you can say colors equal to whatever color you want, right? You want a black color, red color, yellow color, pink color. So you will get those colors, the same sequence that you want to define. And if you want to show legends also, so you just come up over here and you will say by psd dot legend psd dot show. कब बारिश हो रही है? Okay. Now similarly, like if you want to create a histogram, suppose if you have some data with you, and on that you want to create a histogram, you can do that also, right? And create a, we have a hist function for that we can use to create a histogram. Suppose now you have, suppose let's create a data over here, x equals to yeah. So if I say np dot normal, right? So we suppose I'm just generating some normal data, right? So 172, with a spacing of 10, so we create up to 250. Oh, np dot random dot normal. Okay, so what I've done is I just generated some random numbers over here. Okay, so I just generated the numbers over here. You will see. So this is the random number that I've generated just to have some good amount of a data to create a histogram, right? So if you want to create a histogram, you will simply say plt.hist, and that gives you a histogram. Oh, the data is not given inside it. So you get a histogram created. So like, for example, you had that X and Y that we create. Sorry, not X and Y, we have changed now. So let's define it again. Suppose I am defining X equal to np dot array, and I define 5, 10, 20, 30, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we define y equal to np dot array. So we have 11, 12, 13, 15, 7. Okay. So you have some data, right? X and Y data. You want to create a scatter plot, right? So you can simply say plt.scatter, and you will say that you have want to put X comma Y. So your scatter plot will be created. So these are, the different, basically these are the type of charts that we get, like histogram, scatter plot, bar chart, pie chart, right? So these are the type of charts generally we do, right? Or we create in them. So this is how you make these charts using this matplotlib. So if you want to, the normal plot that we were creating, that we already said that, how you create a normal plot that we were showing when you use plt.plot. So when you say plt.plot, it normally makes that the line chart that we want to create, right? plt.plot, you have store y. Let's just sketch you this text line over here. You want to define the labels, X label, Y label, title. That remains the same. right? So you want to show in this chart, you want to plot the title, plt dot title. So you can write the, suppose I'm calling it as Python plot, and you want to define its location, right? So you want to say location equals to, you can change the location also if you want, right? So you can just say location equals to left, right? So that the title will come on the left hand side. So that is how you can position it if you want. You want to change the position of the title. So you can use the next in that you want to add some grid lines in the chart. So you can say plt dot grid. This will add grid lines in the chart, the backend. Okay. If you only want the grid lines for one of the axis, right? Only x axis you want. So you can say x is equal to x. So you will get it only for the x axis, not the other one. If you say y, it will come only for the y axis. Okay. So you can change the colors if you want. So for the grid line, if you want to change the colors, you can say color equals to green. You can write G also, that will also work, right? So it becomes of green color, right? So just try this. Just try to make this chart. I'll just be back in a minute. Yeah, here. You're able to try this charts. So do you have any money heist fan or money heist fan over here? Let's see that it's coming up.
Yes. All are
Okay.
waiting for tomorrow.
Okay. Because we also have this. I'm also waiting for today, right? 12:30, because I'm also I just love that series.
Some companies give holidays, it seems, for tomorrow.
So tomorrow, and over here I was reading some companies have given an off also today for today, so that people can sit and enjoy the TV series.
We have long weekend this weekend, so
Okay, so Monday. So
yeah,
Monday is an
Monday
off.
holiday here.
Sorry.
Monday holiday here. We have holiday here on Monday.
Okay.
The
What?
Labor Day over here.
Labor. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So these are charts that you can create using Matplotlib. You just have to plug in your data and playing with the colors, and mostly these are the scatter plot line chart, bar chart. These are the charts that we create. So this is how you can use it and create them using the Python over here now. Right. So this is what we have, right? So I think this was the point up till where we had to cover the Python as well, right? Manipulation and visualizations.
So we
Will
are
you
not
show
covering
how to?
SciPy. Sorry.
I'm just asking. Will you show how to use this Python code in Tableau?
Right. So this is for that we will just need that your tab.py library you have to install in your Python. In your Python, there is this library that we have tab.py. Okay. So tab.py is the library that you have to install, and if you have to connect it with your R, you have to use rsir. Right? These are two libraries that you have to install, and then you can easily make that code. So you have to just copy and paste these codes in your Tableau and Python in your Tableau for both R and Python codes. You can create them over there.
So we need
So
to
I'll
install
just
tab.py in Python.
tab in the Python. You have to install it over there. So it's a
Okay.
Tableau library created for Tableau library, and similarly rsir you have to install in the R. So then on the same system you should have Tableau, R, and Python in order to use it.
Okay, it's like just a conda install or tab.py.
tab.py, correct.
Okay.
And that install.package is rsir, and you will able to do it. So you will find the function. There is a function of R script in that Tableau where you write that code, you copy and paste that code, and it starts working. So give it a try. If you don't able to do it, I'll definitely help you out on that.
Okay. And SQL also we can connect from this Python. SQL.
Yes. But SQL I have also not tried. But with the latest version that they launched recently, so they got this integration of Python and the SQL server together. But I have myself not tried that.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
so
we
this
are
is
not
what,
covering SciPy.
so no, that we are not covering. So I'm only in Matplotlib I'm covering. Apart from that, there are a lot of other libraries as well, like you have C1 also that you can use, the SciPy you can use. So there are multiple libraries that we have for visualizations.
Is the last class today?
I mean, technically, we are saying that yes, from the course perspective, but definitely we can have more for the queries and everything. So doubt sessions and because what all we have covered. So we were covered with Excel, SQL. We did Tableau, Power BI, R, and Python. So this is 6. Okay. So in the last batch that previous batch that we were having, and the students were asking me, right, what more we can learn. So I was like, like these are the things. If we have a good command over these, so definitely, the things are anyway, like achievable with these tools only. That I shared with them, that KPMG analysis case study, I shared that it's on the I mean, you want the output? You want to show
Yeah,
the
I'm
output?
asking. Yeah, so that we can connect, right?
Actually, that case study was something. So I'll just share that up. So I've shared that output with that HR. I just have to look out in that email what I did. So I'll definitely
Okay.
share that.
Okay. Yeah.
So the company shared that up.
Okay.
So that. So just today I'll do it. Maybe today or by tomorrow. So today is Friday. So tomorrow Friday I'll do it. So I sit down and then so other some apart from these also I have a couple of more case studies and all. So I'll upload each and every.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
We can post queries or doubts in the WhatsApp chat, right? If you reply, right?
So if you want, we can plan a session next week also, or whenever you feel like there are certain doubts that you all have collected. Do let me know. We will put down a session and we'll connect. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a second, and let me share something in the meantime. So we started off in May, right? So it took 4 months. What will we do? I'm just sharing this one over here. This is just exercise for Python. Okay, this is something that I have shared. And then I'm just putting the MCQs. I'm sharing one handy reference as well, which will be useful to catch up. I mean, go through the things. So it is a good guide, right? So very crisply given all the things. So this is what you can refer to. Okay, so I am sharing one project as well for the Python. Okay, so that is the data set and a problem. Two things I'm going to share. So data set and the problem for this project. So I'm sharing these three things now. So these are just into the chat, to the project, right? So you will find in this the data set also and problem statement also, and I'm sharing the solution as well. So that if in case you would like to have a look at it, so something that will help you. Yeah. So three things. Okay. So one is Python exam, Python programming MCQ, and we have this project and a handy reference. Okay.
We have class tomorrow, right, Amit?
Tomorrow we don't, so we just check the practice stuff, so we can connect for any doubts or not. If you want, we can have that.
I think next week, right? So that we can go for
Yeah.
Maybe we can plan it on next Wednesday or Thursday. If that works. Or anytime you say.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's connect for the doubts and all.
Okay then. Thank you, Amit. Thank you for the session.
Thank you, Amit. Yeah.
Thank you.